Hello, you guys.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I am the MMA spokesman, and today I've got a treat for you. We're about to witness 10 of the funniest and most embarrassing moments in UFC history. Whether it's wardrobe malfunctions, bloopers on the mic, or backstage interviews gone suspect.
You better win your fight, because I'm coming on your ass, boy.
Get ready to laugh your dick off.
You see that? His dick's flying off.
So, no rankings here, just 10 side-splitting moments that will have you in stitches. Let's not waste any time and jump right in. Number 10 on my list is the fight between Felice Herrig and Justine Kish at UFC Fight Night 112, which took place on June 25, 2017 in Oklahoma City. Herrig was a veteran fighter who had been in the UFC since 2014, while Kish was a newcomer who had only 2 fights in the promotion. The fight was expected to be a close and competitive one.
I can't let you get close.
As both fighters were skilled and aggressive. However, Herrig proved to be too much for Kish, as she dominated her with her striking and grappling throughout the 3 rounds. In the final round, Herrig locked in a rear-naked choke on Kish, and it looked like she was going to finish the fight. Kish refused to tap out, and showed incredible heart and determination to escape the submission. But in doing so, she also had an unfortunate accident, shitting herself in the cage. The incident was caught on camera and broadcasted live to millions of viewers. It was also noticed by the commentators, who tried to avoid mentioning it directly, but couldn't hide their shock and amusement. The fight went to the judges' scorecards, and Herrig won by unanimous decision. But the real story of the fight was not the result, but the embarrassing moment for Kish. The incident went viral on social media, and became one of the most talked about and mocked moments in UFC history. Kish handled the situation with grace and humor, and tweeted after the fight, "I am a warrior, and I will never quit. Hashtag shit happens, haha, be back soon." What made this little incident even funnier is that a fan, shortly after the bout, offered Kish $15,000 for her shit-stained shorts, which is probably more than she made fighting. At number 9 on my list is Ben Rothwell's post-fight speech after he submitted Matt Mitrione. When John Anik proceeded to ask Ben how the fight went,
"It was pretty deep, so I knew it was going to come soon."
He went off on a rant about how the old him was no more, and that no man on the planet could stop him inside the octagon. He then said only politics could slow him down and that we've seen nothing yet. Then he came out with the most insane laugh. Trying to do his best Dr. Evil impression, but in reality just looking like a fucking idiot and making everyone in the arena and watching at home cringe or burst out laughing. This speech is funny because it shows how delusional and overconfident Ben Rothwell was after his win. He acted like he was unstoppable and unbeatable, even though he had lost several fights before and would lose many more after. He also tried to sound menacing and intimidating, but his laugh was so ridiculous and awkward that it ruined his whole image. His speech was so cringe-worthy and hilarious that it became a meme among MMA fans and will be forever etched in my memory as one of the funniest UFC moments ever. Coming in at number 8 on my list of hilarious and awkward UFC moments is Aljamain Sterling accidentally saying he's coming on Petr Yan's ass. Aljamain Sterling is one of the top bantamweights in the UFC, but he also has a knack for saying some awkward things. After his impressive submission win over Corey Sandhagen at UFC 250, he was eager to call out the champion at the time, Petr Yan. However, he accidentally said something that sounded very different from what he intended. He said,
You better win your fight, because I'm coming on your ass, boy.
Of course, he meant to say,
I'm coming for that ass.
But the slip of the tongue made it sound like he had some other plans for Yan. Sterling later laughed it off and corrected himself, but the damage was done. He had given us one of the most hilarious and awkward moments in UFC history. Coming in at number 7 on my list of hilarious and awkward UFC moments is the legendary encounter between Chael Sonnen and Wanderlei Silva on The Ultimate Fighter Brazil. Chael had been getting under Wanderlei's skin by refusing to apologize for insulting Brazil and its fighters. Wanderlei finally had enough and confronted Chael, demanding an apology. Chael refused to back down, and the two coaches had a heated argument that almost turned into a brawl. The funniest parts of the exchange were when Wanderlei kept saying, over and over again, which was his way of saying, do you want to know? He was trying to tell Chael why he was angry with him, but Chael didn't seem to care. Another hilarious moment was when Chael said,
I can't let you get close.
Chael was trying to keep his distance from Wanderlei, who wanted to fight him right there and then. After Chael pushed him back and their teams intervened, Wanderlei was very angry and frustrated, and he wanted to make Chael pay for his insults. He said that he would make Chael suffer in the octagon, and that he would make him cry like a baby. The scene was tense and dramatic, but also hilarious and entertaining. It was one of the most memorable moments in the Ultimate Fighter history.
Soon. I hope you no hurt. The hands no hurt. I'm not gonna be your friend. I'm gonna hurt you.
Now. Please stop. I can't let you get close.
At number 6 on my list, we have a moment between Dominic Cruz and Cody Garbrandt. Cruz and Garbrandt had been trading insults for months, with Cruz mocking Garbrandt's tattoos, intelligence, and loyalty to his coach Uriah Faber, and Garbrandt calling Cruz a sore loser, a crybaby, and a yes man. Their fight was highly anticipated by fans and media alike, as they both promised to knock each other out and end their feud once and for all. However, despite all the hype and hostility, Garbrandt surprised everyone by putting on a masterful performance against Cruz, dropping him several times and even dancing in the octagon. He won the fight by unanimous decision and became the new bantamweight champion, ending Cruz's long reign and unbeaten streak in the division. But before that, he gave us one of the most hilarious and awkward moments in UFC history. This moment happened during the build-up to their bantamweight title fight at UFC 207, where Garbrandt tried to insult Cruz by saying,
I never had to chase pussy in my life. On December 30th, I ain't doing it.
but ended up sounding confused and insecure. Cruz, who is known for his witty comebacks, simply asked him,
what are you talking about?
And Garbrandt, having the mental IQ of a dried-out cum sock, repeated the same question back to him.
What are you talking about?
It was clear that Garbrandt was out of his depth and had no idea how to handle Cruz's verbal jabs. This was one of the many cringe-worthy moments from their rivalry, but it is also the one that makes me laugh the most every time I see it.
Look, I never had to chase pussy in my life. On December 30th, I ain't doing it. I don't have to.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Coming in at number 5, we have Marvin Vettori's fashion faux pas. This was one of the most hilarious moments in UFC history, at least to me. Before his rematch with Israel Adesanya at UFC 263, Marvin Vettori had to pose for some promotional photos. But he made a boo-boo.
What?
He wore his Venom shorts backwards in a hilarious wardrobe malfunction where the UFC logo was on his ass and the Venom logo was on his crotch. He looked like a clown and was an instant meme among the UFC fans. Even Adesanya couldn't help but laugh at him during their face-off. Vettori acted like he didn't notice his mistake and later explained in an interview with Nina Drama that it wasn't his fault and the people uploading the pictures didn't check them. He said, I don't know what happened. They just gave me the shorts and I put them on. I didn't look at them. They should have checked them before they posted them online. He also claimed that they took another picture with the shorts correctly, but somehow they uploaded the wrong one. However, no one really buys this story. Most people think he was just trying to save face after being embarrassed by his shorts malfunction. At number 4 on the list is Zhang Weili's hilarious comeback to Joanna Jędrzejczyk's trash talk. Zhang Weili is the current UFC strawweight champion and a humble and respectful fighter. Joanna Jędrzejczyk is a former champion and a trash talker. When they faced off at UFC 248 Media Day, Joanna tried to intimidate Zhang with her words. But Zhang had a witty reply that left Joanna speechless. Zhang, who barely spoke any English, simply told Joanna, "Shut up." She said it with a smile and a laugh, showing that she was not bothered by Joanna's words. Joanna looked stunned and confused, and didn't know how to respond. It was a funny and awkward moment that went viral on social media. Shut up. Number 3, reporter confuses Albert Tumanov for Robbie Lawler. Albert Tumanov is a Russian welterweight fighter. Robbie Lawler is a former UFC welterweight champion. A reporter stupidly mixed them up at the UFC 195 press conference. He praised Tumanov for defending his title against Carlos Condit, which was actually Lawler's fight. Tumanov got a translator to tell the reporter he wasn't Lawler. The reporter apologized, but it was too late.
Questions for Robbie, please. Robbie, congrats. I wanted to ask you, there's a really cool moment there at the at the end of the fight where you guys kind of collapsed at the same time on the cage. Were you aware of that? I mean, what's going through your head and how do you feel in that moment? I'm sorry. So sorry. My bad.
Oh, you thought that was Robbie Lawler?
With the beanie, it threw me off. My bad.
It was a hilarious and embarrassing moment that made everyone laugh. They looked alike a bit, but it was still a funny mistake. Number 2, Chris Weidman's dad steals the mic. Chris Weidman is a former UFC middleweight champion and was one of the best fighters in the division. He is also known for his close relationship with his father, who often accompanies him to his fights. However, his father made a very awkward and hilarious scene after Weidman lost his title to Luke Rockhold at UFC 194. Rockhold dominated Weidman for 4 rounds and finished him with a barrage of punches in the 5th round. It was a brutal and bloody fight that left Weidman battered and bruised. As Joe Rogan was trying to interview Weidman, his dad grabbed the mic and yelled,
And this is still my boy!
It was a very awkward and funny moment that made everyone cringe and laugh. But seeing as I find an excuse in almost every video I upload to use this clip, this video is no different. Number 1, Conor McGregor's iconic line to Jeremy Stephens. Conor McGregor is the biggest star in UFC history and one of the most charismatic and entertaining fighters ever. He is known for his trash talk and witty comebacks, which he often uses to get under his opponent's skin and hype up his fights. Jeremy Stephens is a veteran featherweight fighter who has been in the UFC since 2007. He is known for his knockout power and toughness, but he is not very popular or successful. He has never fought for a title or headlined a pay-per-view event. When these two fighters were on the same stage at the UFC 205 press conference, a reporter asked McGregor who would give him the hardest fight out of anyone on the stage. Stephens interrupted and said,
Right here, the hardest hitting 145 pound, the real hardest hitting 145er, right here. This guy TKOs people. When I knock people out, they don't fucking move.
In response, McGregor delivered one of the most savage and hilarious lines in UFC history.
Who the fuck is that guy?
He said it with such disdain and disbelief that it sounded like he had never heard of Stephens before. He completely dismissed him and his claim with a simple question. It was a funny and awkward moment that made everyone laugh and cheer. Stephens looked embarrassed, angry, and quite frankly looked as if a piece of his very soul had left his body. He had no comeback for McGregor's insult. The video of the exchange went viral on social media and became one of the most iconic and memorable moments in UFC history.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Thank you for watching my compilation of some of the funniest and most awkward UFC moments. This is the MMA Spokesman, signing off. If you enjoyed my list or have any other hilarious moments in mind, please don't hesitate to leave your suggestions in the comments below. Your feedback means the world to me, and if I receive enough comments, I'll gladly create another video based on your recommendations. Thanks once again for watching, and until next time, take care and keep enjoying the world of MMA.